On that. Well, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to another amazing Empowerment Week. It is Spring Empowerment Week 2025. It is our first day, and I am so excited. We got Autumn jamming with me. I'm so pumped. It is a beautiful day here in North Carolina, which is why I am hosting from outside. We're going to have a great week. We have some amazing things lined up. Tonight, we have our board member and a really close friend of mine chatting about social media. Tomorrow, we are going to have the team from Spine Alley talk about their amazing app, which is a huge resource for the spinal cord injury and or wheelchair community. So if you guys haven't signed up for that, that's going to be tomorrow evening. Wednesday, I will be leading a very informal coffee chat. We'll be talking about some travel tips, why I love to travel, about my travel job, and answer questions of anything that you guys may have. We have a camp coming up in July, and so if you guys are attending or interested in the camp or how the travel goes to that, that's a really good topic to bring up on Wednesday. Thursday, we will have another board member and another amazing friend of mine, Lindsay. She's here today, and she's going to be running a fun little community support group. That's a really big part of her passion and her purpose is she runs a motherhood support group, and so she's going to kind of expand that into the Wheel with Me scene. So we're really excited about that as well. Lastly, on Friday, we are going to kick it off with an amazing, fun DJ session with Tony Jacobs. So, if you guys have not been with us before, he has done this a couple different times. He has done some fitness, he's done some DJing. It's always a good time, always fun, high energy. So, we would love to have you with that. So, a great week ahead. Super excited to have all of you guys. And without further ado, I am going to make Anna the host so that she can share her screen and take over and share some amazing social media tips with you guys. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And Anna, feel free to take it away.
Hey. Okay. My name is Anna Sarol. I can do my whole spiel about like I'm a disability rights advocate, a content creator, model, keynote speaker, whatever. But more than that, I am someone who just really deeply values real and human conversation and connection. So I want to treat this more like a conversation. I have like an outline of what I want to address today, but like I really just want this to either be like a Q&A or like just back and forth conversation because this is what I do full time for a living, but I'm not like an expert. I don't like I yeah, I don't ever want to promote myself as an expert of someone who does content creation because I there's so many things that I'm still learning and there's so many things that I can still that I do wrong sometimes.
With that said, though, she's had years of experience and she's done multiple different types of projects and she is extremely creative. She helps
Oh,
us run our social media and we would not be where we are without her. So don't sell yourself short.
I appreciate that comment. Also, if you want to turn on your cameras, I love seeing other people's faces. I did a keynote on Friday and no one turned on their cameras, and it was just a very hard time for me to like read people's nonverbal cues and then just like let me put a face to a name and stuff. So, also another preface before I go into like everything. I live with my family and you might audibly hear them in the background and we're just gonna roll with it. I might mute myself if I ever have to like step out and just address that. But let me pull up my outlined. So content creation is my full-time job. The main platforms that I'm in is Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Threads now. The one that I prioritize the most is Instagram, and that's just because that algorithm is the one that I'm most familiar with. And it's the reason why my platform is larger on Instagram than TikTok or Facebook or YouTube or Threads. I also do short form content rather than long form. I've done some long form content, and that's typically done on YouTube. I know the other platforms are slowly pushing out different long form content right now, but I am a short form content gal. Like you won't see me do long form very often. And if it is, it's something that I'm really passionate about. I think I've only like pushed out like four long form content on YouTube, and they were like I know one of them was 20 minutes long. And the reason why I don't do long form is because it takes so much time and effort post-production to edit and get up. And it's just something that I don't want to waste my time with. I mean, I shouldn't say waste because everything that I do with long form content is something that I'm really passionate about, but it just takes a lot out of me. And that's something a part of the job that I don't necessarily want to engage in, so I don't do it as often. Let's see. A little quick story about like how I got started. So I have been doing content creation full time for the past like 3 years. Ever since I graduated college with my bachelor's in psychology, which was about, I think I graduated in 2022. No, something like that, maybe 2021. Um, and I did a deep dive of whether or not I thought this was a career path that I could, enter and support myself financially. And I've got a lot of feedback from just my community about continuing this path. A lot of people, have found my content to be meaningful and fulfilling. I have found it very fulfilling in so many different ways. And I remember this one conversation that I had with a friend who was in the social media space. He's no longer now, but I was telling him how I've been contemplating whether or not I should continue with my master's or PhD in psychology, or if I should just take a or pull back from that and do content creation and social media full time. And I can't remember verbatim of what he said, but he said something along the lines of, if you were to go to school for another like 5 years, I think you're wasting that time to be really tapping into the purpose that you are here. And and he firmly believed that the purpose of the life that I'm leading is to follow like this social media path where I can, create content that I really am feeling passionate about. And um, yeah. So, with that all being said, like I studied film for 4 years while I was in high school, and that kind of like started this journey of loving videography and all that. And I entered a program in high school. It's called e-communications, and there was four different strands in that program. It was video, graphic design, web design, and animation. And I chose the video strand, and there was two strands within the video strands actually. And it was um, film or broadcasting. And I chose film. And in it, I just really tapped into what it was like to go through the process of pre-production and learning what that looks like, storyboard, um, creating different shot lists so that I have it prepared for when I bring it to production. And then obviously we did production. We filmed a short film um, documentary. And my role in that one specifically was social media, like marketing. And so I helped market the film so that people can come to the theaters and watch it. But aside from my role in that particular project, like I saw a lot of behind the scenes of what it's like to, be the person behind the camera and like see the editor do their thing with sound, coloring, sequencing, all of the little jazz that goes into post-production. And I felt very passionate about, creating something that was aesthetically pleasing, but something that was also meaningful. And I like to point much of my success as a creator to that program because they just prepared us so much into what it would be like to enter this creative route as a full-time job. And so that's kind of how I started. Um, I think one of the reasons why disabled content creators are pushing out the kind of content that they're pushing out is because we are trying to normalize the conversation of disability. You see that people in this space either they create for disabled people and they create like very niched content, or there's like the people that create for non-disabled people and will educate in that way. And neither one of them is right or wrong. Like obviously, um, you want to tap into the audience that you feel passionate that you should tap into. And so I chose kind of both. Like I think a lot of the content that I push out in the online space kind of taps into like the non-disabled audience members and the disabled audience members. Or I'd like to think that. If you guys have ever consumed my thing and if you don't agree, then feel
No,
free.
I agree with you, Anna. Like when you were just originally talking about it, I was like you do both. Like that was my first thought. So absolutely, because like I can relate to it as a person who uses a wheelchair, right? Where we've talked about this, where like you've just showed me so much, right? Like I've just learned so much. And but like if I feel like I can't get something out or like show someone like sometimes you just can't get the right words out, right? And sometimes it's just really hard for you personally to show someone how to do it. Like there's videos of yours that I can show to these people and be like look at this, like this is what it is. And then there are other people's videos where I can see like okay, they're showing us inaccessibility of things, right? And so like
Mhm.
when we can take all of these different pieces and put them together, like it can show these different perspectives of the world. And so you're totally right. Like you totally do hit the nail on both ends. And yeah, maybe some of your content might sway more one way during one specific thing that you're talking about, right? Or maybe another way. But either way, I still feel like it's relatable to literally every single person who could watch it.
Thank you. Oh
You're
my God.
welcome.
And thank you for saying that. And if anyone ever has any feedback in the middle of me talking, please unmute and give me some conversation. I love that all of you unmuted yourself because that makes me feel so much better. And just hearing your feedback. Like I love hearing other people's feedback on, you know, my content. There's a lot of care and thought that goes into it. And so to hear people's reactions towards it or feedback is like very meaningful for me. I will say that's the one thing about content creation that I love my job, but I hate it in the sense of like I know that it's very meaningful and what I'm doing is my purpose. But it's so hard to feel fulfilled when you just see like a like count or and comments mean a lot more and DMs even mean even more. But if you give me like someone else's voice saying like what it means, what my like content has meant to them, oh my gosh, that just like I'm like okay, I can keep going for another like 20 years. Like you just added like 20 years of like my career to keep going. Like that's all that like seriously. This career very meaningful, very fulfilling, but it does get lonely at times. And so that's one thing that I have learned kind of the hard way. Um, let's see, what else did I put here?
You've got some questions in the chat.
Okay, yes. Let's see.
And then there was another question that was directed towards me, but I think it was for you. And it was, do you make money? Do you already monetize with any of your content making?
Yes. Okay, that's a good question. With I do monetize my content, and that is how I'm able to support myself financially and continue to do what I'm doing. Um, the I only make I'm only able to monetize my content through sponsorship. I know that there are people who um monetize their content via like the platform. So like TikTok sometimes will pay creators, YouTube will pay creators. Instagram has pushed out different I don't know what they even call it, but like programs where the creators can get monetized from the platform themselves.
It's like a bonus program for a minute.
The bonus program. And I've heard mixed emotions about it.
It was okay. I qualified for it for a little while, but then I got booted and then I was never allowed back in. But I did hear that like with the bonus program specifically, like Instagram had like a set amount of money to give to creators. And once
Hmm.
that money ran out, that's when the bonus program stopped. So that's why, like, when people are like trying to get into that bonus program and they're like, I don't know why I can't get into it, it's because it
Yeah.
was pretty a limited thing. But that was a temporary thing as well on Instagram.
So the reason why I never did the bonuses or like anything related to that, whatever platform you choose, was because I had heard, and again, take this with a grain of salt because I don't know how accurate this is, but I had heard that for the creators that sign up and apply and those bonuses are active, Instagram will kind of like hurt you in the sense of like they're not gonna like their algorithm isn't gonna send you as much traffic towards your account because you are monetizing off of that count. Which sounds so backwards. Your goal is to help or keep people on their platform and have these numbers very high. And if you're essentially like incentivizing through those numbers. I don't know, it's just I don't know how you guys feel about it, but like that has scared me enough away from that to like never like tap into bonuses just because I'm like the engagement that I have right now, I'm very content with. And I don't ever want to like ruin that or harm it. To the point where like the people that want to like see my content don't see it at all. And that's something unfortunately I just had to financially deal with because like it would be nice to get paid by the platforms themselves, but if that meant like I was gonna not have the engagement that I have right now, um, I don't really want to risk that. So that's the reason why I didn't.
You had kind of mentioned the algorithm and like engagement and things. And
Yeah.
that's always changing, right? So specifically for like 2025 and some of the newer things, what have you seen that's working? What is the algorithm looking for? Like what's a good algorithm hack, I guess, for some of the people that are watching this to kind of add into their social media tool bucket, I guess.
That's a great question. And I don't know if I have an answer to that. I say that I'm more familiar with the Instagram algorithm, and I only say that because I know my numbers are more consistent on Instagram, so I must be doing something right. But I couldn't tell you, I couldn't pinpoint one specific thing, whether that be a trending audio or a hashtag or a certain, I don't know. Um, and I try really hard to not get caught up with numbers. That's something as a content creator that I've like struggled with. And I know that's consistent across all creators. Um, because yes, there's this the like count and comment count and follower count, whatever. But I think if you were to prioritize that and be so fixated on that, you're not gonna go as far. And the reason why I believe that is because there's been so many times where I've been put to the test in the sense of like, making money off of a sponsorship and like good money, but I knew that it would hurt my engagement and thus like not push out as much of my content to the people that want to see it. Um, man, where was I going with this? Um, yeah, it's just it's an inner battle trying to like not care too much about that number because it is unfortunately a metric of success that is public to the eye, like to everyone. And so like and as creators we're praised for that number. Like we're praised of like, "Oh my gosh, you have a lot of followers that you have access to." And yes, that's important, but like the way that people have like framed certain creators for like translate their follower count for like fame has just been like there's so much blur in that. Like I don't believe I'm famous. And like people will look at my follower count often and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, you're like famous." I'm like, "No, please don't add that word. Don't associate that with me at all because I don't feel that way at all. I don't like yeah. But what's the other question that we have? How do you get followers? I've been doing this for 14 years, writing as an advocate. I really I don't really do videos or posts. I notice my posts don't get viewed. Okay. So, unfortunately, I have seen all of the platforms prioritize video content to the point where I believe that that's why you're not getting followers. Um, which is so unfortunate because there's like photographers that have built a living on social media and started like 20 years ago. And then as the platform started to shift and videos became the priority, they found themselves being put in positions where they have to prioritize their business, but it doesn't mean video. Like it doesn't relate to video in any capacity. But they have to, pay the bills. And they have found social media before it shifted to be successful in marketing their business. I'm trying to think on how I want to address this question. And Danielle, feel free to like ask follow up because I hear you and I get what you mean. I
So
don't.
I'm just trying to like figure out because I'm transitioning to I'm a power wheelchair user for 16 years. I'm transitioning to a manual from not a wheelchair. And so I have a black lab and I'm like, how do you all video? I can't even like video us on a walk, you know what I mean? So like so much I have to learn, but I'm like so self-conscious. I don't even think I can do video, you know what I mean? And then I also have to keep in mind because I'm deaf. So like I would have to add closed caption to everything because I have
Mhm.
deaf followers as well. So it's a lot of work, you know. So I would just try to like get out there a little bit more, but it's so hard, so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. That is a very tricky situation and I wish I had the answer of like you can do this even with like still posts and photos and it'll get you followers. But like truly like unfortunately the social media like landscape that we're in right now wants like video visuals.
I do have
Danielle, I feel like,
questions for, oh, sorry, Autumn,
oh, no,
before you ask, Danielle, I had a couple quick questions. Where are you posting your posts at? Is it just like a Facebook post or do you have like a blog website? And then do you keep your profile public where people can find you? Um,
Yeah, Instagram gave me a blue check about like 4 years ago because somebody pretended to be me back in California and stole all like my cancer images. So that's why I have that blue check. But I only have like 600 followers. And
Mhm,
then my website's on my Instagram, but
mhm,
I'm not getting out there because I only do photos because I used to be a photographer, a
mhm,
professional photographer, but
mhm,
now I just use my iPhone.
mhm,
So it's just like I'm trying to figure out like maybe I can get like an adaptive tool for my manual and see if I can do like reels with me and my dog or like sign language with Dory or like all these other things like I want to do, you know?
Feel free to connect with the foundation, Danielle, and I can give you some resources for tools that you can clip onto your wheelchair because I know a lot of content creators who have limited hand dexterity and stuff who have tools like that we've come across. Also, just a quick suggestion, um, start sharing some of your stuff in the support groups, right? Like take the actual links from your website or wherever you're posting your blog or your Facebook post or things like that. Start dropping them in like support groups, start emailing them out to people, because that would be another way. Since you are at the moment temporarily just kind of stuck with the non-video, um, that's another way to kind of grow, right? Like focus on those Facebook posts, focus on sharing it to support groups, keeping your profile public so that people can come and follow you and find you until you can figure out the video stuff until then.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
only on Instagram right now. I don't have
okay.
Facebook. I have Facebook private, but I have it for like cancer groups and like our group, but it's really like I have no followers on there. I want it private and then Instagram is my main, my main thing for years.
You
So
could always copy your Instagram post links and drop those into those support groups as well.
I didn't know we can do that. Okay,
Yep.
thanks.
So, like again, like connect with me and I can show you those smaller details, but there is smaller little ways to kind of build your way up to what the audience is preferring. Because I do agree with Anna, there is an unreal amount of need for video, and it's not even like long video. I mean, the best videos that perform right now are between like 3 and 5 seconds long. Like it's our attention span right now as humans is very tiny, very,
Oh
very
my,
tiny.
it's so
So
tiny.
sorry for interrupting Autumn. If you still have that train of thought, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I see Shamika's got her hand up too. No, I had a follow-up question and then just a comment, but like I feel Danielle, you hit it on the head too. Like it's really vulnerable, right? Like putting yourself out there because like I always say, so I've got a kid too, but I'm always like, their haters are gonna hate. Like the people will always have haters. And so like for me, I think that's one of the biggest things, like why I struggle putting myself out there too, is like I just don't know if I'm ready for that, right? Like you gotta be able to like take that and like kind of like brush it off your shoulders and really take that love and that positive and like allow that to be the thing that embraces you. But the question that I had for you, Anna, is it was right in the beginning where you were saying about like short content and long content, right? Is that like the right terms? Like
Mhm.
what's the difference between short content and long content? Like what's like that time frame or what does that difference look like?
It's, it's the typical like 60 to, well, I guess you could do like way short. People have posted like 3-second reels. I don't know what's the like minimum, but like the maximum typically on platforms is 90 seconds. And then
Okay.
everything above that is like kind of considered long form. When I think about long form, the first thing I think about is YouTube and those like horizontal filmed content, and then those being like usually like 20 minutes long. The reason why, again, why I don't do that is because like it takes me a solid like 5 hours to edit a 1 minute reel. And so like, could you imagine doing t like 20 times that? That's where I'm like, I'm not gonna put my time and effort into that. I think like I would ra much rather put the time and effort to push out 20 more reels than one long form content. That's just my opinion. Some people thrive off of like long form content creation. I just am not that person. I just take way too long to edit and that's just not my cup of tea. But yeah. I'm trying to think of other resources that oh yeah, Shamika, if you have a question, feel free to unmute and
Well, I don't have a question. I was just saying about like pictures, and I just started doing reels, and what I do is I just take all the pictures that I've done previously and put them into a reel. So it's just it's stuff that I've already shared before, but it's in a different format. So if you have like a lot of pictures, you can put them in a reel, and then it's like a video. Um,
yes,
and
I love
um,
that. That's a great suggestion. Because
so that's what I've been doing.
yeah.
Uh, because I don't generally take videos. But what I've been doing is just repurposing, stuff that I've done before. Like I do like a lot of quotes and things like that. So I'll just put those in a reel, and it's a different way of sharing the same content in a different way. And that usually gets more, like you said, it gets more eyes on. Um, and then the other thing that I do with Instagram is I have it connected to my Facebook. So anytime I share on Instagram, it automatically goes to my Facebook. So I don't have to like share twice.
No, that is so, yeah, genius. I remember, I think the first 2 years of me doing content creation, none of my accounts were linked together, and I would go on each individual platform, copy and paste the caption, redo the like cover and add the music on there. Oh my gosh, it was just so annoying. It got really annoying. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to continue to do this. But yes, that was a great suggestion. Thank you so much for sharing that because that is super helpful when considering if people don't want to do video content, they can just make like a montage of photos and upload that as an edit for sure.
When it comes to posting on multiple platforms, do you take the time, do you just link all of your accounts like you were just talking about, or do you use like a tool kind of like Business Suites to help with that kind of posting and scheduling it all? Or what are your thoughts on, I know we've kind of talked about this before. What are your thoughts on like scheduling tools and platforms and things like that?
I'll be so honest, like I think the only accounts that are linked are Facebook and Instagram, and yeah, Facebook and Instagram. Um, I still go on each individual platform after I create a post and caption or copy and paste them all. There is probably an easier way. And like I also, the reason why I don't personally use the scheduling tools on the platforms is because I find satisfaction of hitting the upload button and, being present for that, like to be like launched to the world. Um, it would make my job so much easier because then I don't have to like wait for 12 p.m. to hit for me to hit upload. Because I do have like I usually like to schedule my post at 12 p.m. Central Time. And that's just something that I've found to work for me. Some people have played around with when people are most active on the social media platforms. I glance at them and I look at that metric, but I don't prioritize it. And I think my content has gone around to people's platforms regardless of whenever I upload. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm gonna talk about my camera setup because I know that like I always get a lot of questions on like how I'm able to film like all these like high quality videos, and I don't say that in an egotistic way. Like this camera is like my pride and joy. So I want to share it and I don't want to gatekeep. Um, so this is the Canon R6 and this is the body. Let me take off the lens, but the body is mirrorless. It has been my go-to camera for the past, I would say 4 years. I think I got it during COVID actually. So maybe five. How long was COVID? Yeah, 5 years ago. That's crazy. Um, yeah, I've had it for 5 years. My holy grail has lasted me this long. Probably gonna last me another like 10, but I love this. This is my lens that I recently got. So this is the Canon 15 through 35, and I believe the f-stop is the aperture is somewhere on here. Oh, there it is. No, it's not. I can find that later. But anyways, it's a zoom lens. It also has stabilization, which is super nice as a wheelchair user because for the handheld content that I do, if I'm like filming something else outside of me being in front of the camera, it's really nice to put that thing on. And it does kind of like, how do I explain it? When you do put it on, it makes the edges a little warped. So like sometimes it will look a little strange if you don't have like the best steady hands, but I really like the stabilization on. It was off actually. I don't know why it was off. I usually keep it on. I think my sister was playing with my camera. Those are my two, this is my main setup. Canon R6, and then Canon the 15 through 35 zoom lens. My other one that I typically grab is the Canon, like this is my 50 mm lens. It is amazing. I think this is 1.2. Yeah, the f-stop is 1.2. Um, this has also been my go-to. I love this so much. Danielle, what are you saying? Oh, yes. Yeah, it's scary holding these cameras while being in a chair. I mean, like, I am terrified every time I hand it over to someone. Um, I like to keep it on my lap as much as I can, but also like put the strap on. I know it's so annoying, but like just do it. Um, this is my camera bag. Take out all this stuff. Actually, before I go into my camera bag, I want to show my mic. So I use the DJI mic. This is the lavalier mic. It's wireless. They look like this. You probably have seen a lot of content creators. This is like kind of like a consistent thing that content creators own. But this is the DJI. I think this is the first model. They just launched a second model, which I haven't done much research on that one, but this one has done wonders for me. It has not like done me dirty yet. So I love this. The great thing that I love about this is that you can attach it to like the base of it to your phone so that it works for phone content. Like if you don't want to film through a DSL, then you can also film with your phone, which is nice. And yes, this has lasted me so long. It's also so nice. I used to have an external mic where I would have to essentially like line up the audio with the clip every time, and that was God, never again because that camera bag. I got this from Amazon. I was talking to another creator who's in a wheelchair also, and he gave me the idea of like this type of bag setup, but the one that he bought was like $300, and I was like, I don't have $300. This one is like I think 50 from Amazon. I could find the link. I'm sure I could find the link. But the reason why I love it is that it straps on like this. So instead of like having it on your shoulder, I mean, I guess you can't have it on your shoulder. Let me see if I can point the camera down actually. Because then I can show you how I put it on. But essentially, I can have it to wrap around like this. And then I have all my camera gear and stuff, which is nice because then you can obviously tighten and everything. The camera bag that I had previously was a shoulder strap one, and the reason why that one was annoying is because it was not convenient when I would go to like certain locations and film and then like try to push. Like that's just this one's nice because again, like I'm able to be hands-free without having to like interfere with how I push my wheelchair while holding it. So, really love that. I'm assuming that there's an email going out after so that I can like link it. Okay, yes. Amazing. I will link this. Um, also, if I'm going really fast and you want me to repeat any of the equipment names, let me know. Let's see. I love this gadget. This one plugs straight into my phone. The SD card goes in here, and I'm able to import all my footage onto my phone like fairly quickly. Yeah, super nice. It goes like that. Hold on, maybe I could show you guys because the way that you guys reacted, I just need to give a little demo. So you got your SD card, you put it in. I forgot what these are called, but they're amazing. And then you plug the thing into your device, and then you go to your photos, and then once it's plugged, it'll show up right there, and that says import. And you click on it, and these are all the like things that are on the SD cards. Bree, you're muted. I don't know if you're saying anything, but yes. It's super nice because then you can like obviously like import from there. Because I, for the longest time, would import to my laptop and then from there airdrop it to my phone. And this saves you time and effort. And if I'm traveling and I want to get a content up that week and I don't have access to my laptop, you need to get it, Bree. I'm looking at you specifically. It's saved my butt so many different times. Okay, what else? Oh, camera bag, camera lens. I have a tripod. It's like your most basic tripod for your DSLR. I also have a phone tripod. That's nothing special. Just Amazon purchase. Um, is there anything I'm missing? Do yourself a favor and invest in extra batteries with your camera if you are using a DSLR because that will save you. As far as Danielle, do you have a question? Or are you like pretty?
Yes, I do. So basically, you're in your manual chair and you basically do everything on your own. I thought everybody had like their personal videographer or something.
Well, okay, yeah, I will say I I make myself sound like I'm a one-woman team. I'm not a one-woman team. My sister-in-law is my videographer that I like will out like I'll pay her to help me film, and she's the person behind the camera most times than not because I do have to be in demonstrating or doing whatever. Um, but yes. And yes, she deserves a lot of credit too. She's amazing and does, I mean, she will deal with me in the sense of like, oh, I don't like that shot. Let's do it again. And we do that so many times, more often than not. So she deserves all the credit. What other things do I
I will
have?
have to say, some content creators don't always have that. When I'm
Yeah.
alone, I do just like I'm sure Anna, there's times where she's alone, she just tries to find like the good tripod situation. That's usually what I do when I make my videos alone. Um Otherwise, yeah, you really just kind of ask a friend, Danielle, when it was really convenient when me and Jesse kind of lived together because I could take her videos, she could take my videos. Or when we have events, people are really kind to kind of take videos and content for each other. So don't ever be shy if you want to get a video of something and you're at like a bar or a party or like an event, ask someone around you, be like, hey, do you mind getting a video of X, Y, and Z? Because first of all, they're not going to mind, and second of all, the impact of whatever that message you're trying to get across is going to be really great. So don't be scared to ask for a little bit of help because I've asked like the flight attendants when I'm like getting on and off the plane. I've asked there's like random people on work trips. Like my coworkers, I'm like, hey, get a video of me trying out Topgolf. So don't be scared to ask for a little bit of help too.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you mentioned that. My li like my line of work didn't always look like it is right now in the sense of like my sister-in-law is able to help me film and I'm able to pay her and stuff like that. There was a time where I didn't have anyone and I was a one-woman show. I would set up my tripods in public and embarrass myself, but again, what Bree said, the message needs to be delivered to the world and don't let that stop you from continuing this video. Um, and yes, and like I show all this camera equipment and they're fancy and they're expensive. You don't have to have this at all. This, like, I did not, like, if I did not study film, I probably wouldn't have had this and I probably would have started content creation with just my phone, which is totally okay. There's some like viral content that my platform has that was shot on an iPhone, and that is like a-okay. Um, I just show all this because I know that's my number one question is like, what do you shoot with and film with and what mic do you use and camera bags, all that stuff. So that's why I just wanted to, you know, bring that out. As far as like what keeps me organized as a creator, I'm gonna share my screen, maybe. Yes. Okay. I'm going to share it briefly because some of my content's on here that I don't know if I'm going to post yet. So this is called Notion. And it's really, really freaking helpful. So you can see I started using this platform in September 2023. Notion is free. You can pay for certain features. This is the free version because I just don't want to pay for a billion things. But you have different folders. Like I have some different client works, and this is my content creation calendar. Um, this cover I just made, and it's literally just for myself, and I want to feel professional, so I made it. But I organized it in the sense of this is the content idea, this is the film date that I have set aside to film this post, and then this is the status. So you have just an idea ready to upload, edit, film, pre-production, posted. And then I usually put the post date just because I have to stay organized in some capacity. And that's my way of like holding myself accountable is having a certain post date. And then notes are just like anything. Like here, this is like the audio I used. So I put like whatever music I was planning on doing. Um, but you can see like I use it. It's well loved. There's things that are filmed, there's things that are posted, all that jazz. And I love it. It's a great platform. Definitely should use it more.
Can we get a
Actually,
link for that as well, Anna? Cool.
I
Thank
will. Um, but yes, it's called Notion, and I will link that in that email too. Um, For editing softwares, so I use Adobe Premiere Pro. Again, this is something that like professionals use very often. You don't have to have Adobe. You can have CapCut. You can have so many different free apps that do like an amazing job. Also, if you download Premiere Pro, there's a lot of people that are like, okay, give me like the professional stuff. And they get access to like the professional stuff and they're like, I have no idea what to do from here. Like they'll go on these editing softwares and they'll be like, gosh, there's so much customization to these editing softwares because they're made for people who do this for a living. Um and they get very frustrated with how to or to learn the platform and to become more familiar with the tools and stuff like that. It's intimidating. Don't jump into that if you don't have to. Again, I studied this in high school before I even started social media. So that's the reason why I was comfortable to continue to use it as I continued with social media influencing. So, um, we have about like 9 more minutes. I wanted to leave the floor to you guys if you guys have any other questions. I'm trying to look at the chat if there was something that I missed. But please feel free to unmute and ask away. Let's see. I think I answered all the questions in the chat. Trying to
You
think.
popped in a little late. Did you have anything that you wanted to add or ask at all? Or Samantha, I know you kind of popped in a couple minutes late as well. Feel free to drop anything in the chat if you are not comfortable unmuting or anything as well. But yeah, Anna's an open book, you guys. This is a really good opportunity to get ideas or feedback. She literally runs all of her own social media and mine too. When I say mine, I mean Wheel with Me Foundation. So yeah, she has a lot of good ideas. So if anything pops up, please use the last few minutes.
Yeah. I also do this as another. So I am also a freelance videographer for other companies that are local to me, where I'll create content for them. My like all I'm behind the camera, like I'm never in front of the camera for them. Um, and I'll go to like their events and do like recap videos and stuff like that. But that's also another way that I'm able to like keep social media as a job because social media is just it fluctuates so much. Like I wish I could say that I make a stable income, but I don't. I it's so like such a roller coaster. And the reason why I'm able to continue to this is because I have another business that I can fall back on. And in case something like what we saw earlier this year where a platform disappeared from America. And that was wearisome for me as a creator and who someone who does this. But yes, I do have a side hustle to make sure that I feel financially stable enough to continue on to this line of work, which is very helpful. Yes.
I think that's a really good point, and I think you're doing a great job, number one. So, and thanks for your presentation. That concept of multiple streams of income, I think, is really something that people need to consider. So I know a lot of people want to do one thing and they think they're going to strike it big, but doing a lot of things that are related to that works together. So I'm glad you brought that up and makes it much more realistic for people to accomplish.
Oh yeah. I think people are under the assumption that like I make a ton of money off of social media and I'll be so for real with you guys. Like I do not make a ton of money. I am able to like financially keep myself grounded, but I'm not like one of those content creators who is like buying $1 million car for their parents. Like, oh my gosh, good for them. Like they are obviously doing great work on social media and they are able to monetize their content well. I'm obviously driven by purpose and I don't, there's times where I've struggled with that so many different times where I'm like, I know I can get the views, but that would mean going against my morals. And I don't want to go against my morals. And I firmly believe this. This is a quote that I've heard that maybe will resonate with you guys. But someone said, if you protect your purpose will protect you. And oh my gosh, there's so many times that I have to remind myself of that, of like I know what can go viral, and I could easily create that reel that can make me go viral, but that would be going against what I stand for as a creator, as someone who's trying to advocate for the disability community in a educational and positive and humane way. So, yes, that is something that's just something I need to remind myself very often of.
Throw out one more thing. There's a lot of things that are out there that you or none of us know what might happen. So in doing the social media, you don't know what things that might lead to a year or 2 years from now. That might
Right.
be extremely lucrative. You just don't know. So
Mhm.
part of it of being successful is just staying in the game long enough until that big opportunity that you don't know what it is
Right.
happens to come across. So I
Right.
think that's also an important thing for people to keep in mind.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Everything to what Bree is texting in the chat. Consistency is huge. I didn't start monetizing my content until 3 years later. And in that conversation that I mentioned earlier in this of my friend saying like you should really pursue social media. When I made that decision to take this on full time, I wasn't making the income that I wanted to feel stable. But I recognize that I'm also fortunate enough to like live with my family and have some like support there to chase after my dreams. And I know that that is a very privileged place to be in, and not everyone has that opportunity to like dive into this full time and take that risk. I'm very grateful that I have that opportunity. And I count my blessings every day that I do. But yes, thank you for
Well,
bringing that point
we
here.
have one last question from Laura. How do you keep informed about social media trends or changes?
That is also a great question. You know, something I struggle with is like my phone, my relationship to my phone, and work-life balance is extremely difficult as a creator because it's a form of entertainment and to decompress and be a consumer, but it's also a form of your work. And that work-life balance gets like it's very difficult to manage. Um, And I bring that up because I think about your question, and my answer to this would be to just consume what is currently being talked about and, um, tapping into that if that's authentic to what you stand for and the kind of post that you want to push out. I have seen creators go completely like 180 and chase views and likes and comments, and their their mission was to make a positive impact. And then it quickly changed into, okay, how do I treat this as a business? Which it is a business, but it's also like, if you set this out to be a mission of like purpose and yeah, purpose, then like, I don't know. It's really hard to not chase money, but there's a lot of people that do, which is, I mean, like good for them. If they want to hustle, feel free to hustle. I just know for me, I want to be proud of the kind of content that I push out in the world, and I want it to be meaningful in a way that changes lives. So I don't do this out of for me. I do this for truly my community. So
Thank
yeah.
you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys um so much for listening. Anna, I know I can speak for the entire group when we say that we really appreciate your honesty and just speaking from the heart and not sugarcoating any of it, right? Like you're just giving the real raw stuff. You're not going to give people false hope on like what this could eventually turn into. Like, yeah, sometimes it could turn into a really big thing, but for most of the time you have to be realistic with the expectations of how hard it is to become a one stream income of a content creator in the space that we're in these days. So thank you so much for being this honest and real, sharing all of your personal experiences with us. And thank you guys so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy schedules to not only support Wheel With Me Foundation, but to pour into yourselves, right? Like these nights aren't just about Wheel With Me, they're about the attendees. We want the people showing up to become more independent, more successful, more confident, and all of the above. So thank you guys for taking an hour of your night to pour into you. And I really hope that you found some value in the information that was shared tonight. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, to Wheel With Me Foundation or Anna. At the end, later tonight, I will send you guys the video from tonight, along with some of the links that we talked about with the products that Anna shared, the content platform that she had shared, and some other things that we had discussed. Tomorrow is the Spine Alley app, a really great resource for the spinal cord injury community. I'm excited for you guys to see that. If you guys have not signed up yet, please do. Wednesday is a travel chat. Thursday is a support group for the community, and Friday is a fun DJ and motivational mindset session. So if you have not signed up yet, please join us. Again, thank you, Anna. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And I hope to see you guys later this week and have an amazing evening.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was really great. I was really excited to be able to join.
Ah, thank you. I